Bethany TV, for health.
Media platforms, that is Twitter, Facebook, and on our website at BethanyTV.Uganda. So you can reach us, you can reach out to us on our different social medias, or you can even go on YouTube where we where we are not streaming right now, and just subscribe. But if you want to watch the show live, you can go on Facebook, you can go on Twitter, and you can use our website as BethanyTV.ug. If you want to be a part of the discussion, you can call us on 0786056662. We shall be able to communicate with you live in studio. So now, today being a Thursday, we talk about nothing but nutrition. We want to see how best we can transform our lives through what we eat, because we believe that if you do eat well, you can achieve a healthy life. And for some reason, if life is messing you up, if life is messing you up, this is how you can go about it. Eat well, sleep well, and exercise. Yeah, there is no any other way around that, or else you can just keep in prayer. But on top of prayer, you can eat well, sleep well, and exercise. So today we want to see how best we can eat well. Most of us, or if not so many of us, have at one point complained of different repercussions of food. No gamba nti maze okulya olubuto ne lunnuma ne mpulira bwe nti notandika ogamba oba gye ndidde babadde bakyafu, tutera gamba babadde bakyafu, oba tebyayidde bulungi, oba kino, embuto ne zituluma, oba ne tufuna n'obubonero obulala immediately after having eaten particular kinds of foods. But today we want to address the issue of food-borne illnesses, what causes them, and bantu kyabo abali ku mwanje nnyo okubanga bafuna obuzibu n'endwadde ezireetebwa emmere, era twagala kumanya ndwadde kika ki ze tufuna ezireetebwa emmere n'ebirala ebigenderako. So feel at home. This is the Nutrition Sport and Bethany TV for health. In the studios, I'm so much honored to have a team of nutritionists, or call them dietitians. Bano bo basalawo okuguka mu nsonga z'ebyokulya. So bagenda tumanyisa lwaki tutawaana, embuto zaffe zitawaana oluvannyuma nga tumaze okulya emmere gye tuba tulidde. Si kuba nti olidde emmere nnyingi naye wabeerawo ensonga lwaki olubuto lwo lutawaana. So allow me at this point of time to welcome the one and only gentleman in the house. So, and that is none other than Aino Mugisa. You're so much welcome.
Yes.
Greetings to the viewers.
Good evening, everyone. Like she said, my name is Linus Aino Mugisha, and I'm a final year student doing my bachelor's in human nutrition at Makerere University, where I happen to serve as the General Secretary for MUHUNSA. That's the Makerere University Human Nutrition Students Association.
Thank you. Okay, I'll go to the beautiful Martina. Martina is so much welcome.
I'm really honored to be here. Yes, as she has said, I go by names of Nanunji Syrian Martina. I'm a nutritionist, as she has introduced. I'm in my final year at Chambogo University, pursuing a bachelor's degree in human nutrition and dietetics. Yes.
Human nutrition and dietetics.
Yes.
Thank you so much. I think you've heard from them. They are specializing in that particular area. Boba asalawo ne bagamba nti katusome ku byemmere kubanga they believe that food food is everything. It can make you be have a positive, or it can make you have a negative kind of life. Like I said, tugenda kulaba ku ndwadde eziva ku mmere gye tulya. Yeah. So now we want to see what are these food-related illnesses, or what we call the food-borne illnesses. Ngenda kutandika ne Martina. What are some? What do you call the food-related illnesses?
Well, thank you, Gift, for such a wonderful, I'm honored to be here. Yeah, like she has said what are foodborne illnesses. Foodborne illnesses are basically or generally illnesses we get from consuming contaminated food or drinking. It cannot be food alone, but
It's
even
also
when
drinking.
yes, when you drink contaminated drinks, like let me say water, let me say juice. Yeah, some people enjoy juice.
So can we say that that is waterborne
No,
illnesses?
they are still generalized as
As
foodborne
foodborne.
illnesses.
Okay.
Whether you've eaten food or taken a contaminated drink, it's still generally called foodborne illnesses. Or in a layman's language, one can call it food poisoning. Yes. And food poisoning can really be categorized. We have what we call food infections and food intoxications.
So that is from the food poisoning, food
Yes.
infections, and then the food intoxication.
Food intoxication, where food infection is gotten from consuming food contaminated with the microorganism itself. You know, emmere n'olya emmere ng'erimu akawuka kennyini oba kangambe nga they are what we call bacteria or viruses. So a food infection, when you eat food that contains the microorganism itself, the food contains a bacteria, so you consume the bacteria in its full glory, I should say, the way the bacteria is. So you consume food with the bacteria itself or the virus itself. Yet, on the other hand, food intoxication, it might not necessarily be the microorganism itself, but the toxins from the microorganism, the toxins produced by the microorganism. You might find in some cases that the microorganism itself is not even there.
Oh.
The microorganism, like let me say you've boiled your food thoroughly, you've boiled your water thoroughly, the microorganism has died, but the toxins are still in the food.
So even when you boil,
The
there are highest
toxins
chances of the toxins remaining in the food.
The toxins produced by the microorganisms will remain in the food, and when you consume that food, you will get the foodborne illnesses.
Thank you so much, Martina. And I think we've really had it so well, what it is about the foodborne illnesses or the food-related illnesses. And so many of us, we've kept telling ourselves, nti emibiri gyakaluba nze ne bwe ndya ki tekisobola kunyeenya mu lubuto. Olubuto lwange lusigala nga bwe lulina okusigala, oba ndidde byakukubo oba ndidde byawa. You feel like you have enough immune system that can protect you from any kind of these illnesses. But we do have people that are at a high risk of getting these foodborne illnesses. I'll go to Aino Mugisha to take us through abantu abo nga bo nti omulala bwe kiba nga tekimukutte kino ekirwadde nti bo kisobola okubakwata. There is no any way around it. Even when they have shared the same food, omulala asobola osigala nga ali bulungi naye ate ye nemuyisa bubi.
Thank you so much for the opportunity. From what you're saying, what she talked about, the foodborne illnesses, the food-related illnesses, they can go even to as far as I can say overconsumption of maybe some food. For example, even the people who are diabetic, hypertension, type 2 diabetes, all that can be related to food-related illnesses. Because you can't get type 2 diabetes from nowhere. It has to be with the food you consume.
Okay.
So someone who is having diabetes, liver disease, so if you're HIV positive, all those are risk factors. Because someone having HIV, the other normal person may be able to take the normal food we take, and there will be no issue. But then the other disease exposes you, or it puts you at risk of attaining the foodborne illness.
Because of the condition that is already existing.
Because of the condition that is already existing.
So should we say that people that are having a low kind of immune system, they are prone to these kinds of foodborne illnesses? Yeah. Which other categories of people?
The other people I may talk about are the elderly, the young, because if you're to consider the surveys that have been done, most of the people affected from the foodborne illnesses, they are majorly children.
Children, yeah. Okay.
The elderly are also susceptible to those diseases. Because even the NCDs, people with non-communicable diseases, because from the survey that was made by the National Risk, I think, survey something, because of recent, this year in Jan, that's when the Director General Services for the Ministry of Health released a statement about hospitals. They should be able to prioritize the NCDs so that everyone who comes to the hospital, at least there is a checkup for NCDs. This is in a way that we need to control all these food-related illnesses associated with already weakened immune system from the NCDs.
Thank you so much. You mentioned two categories that are standing out. That is there are those people that are already sick or having chronic illnesses and maybe NCDs. But you talked about the children, you talked about the elderly. So I'm thinking if someone is in that kind of group, why do we have children suffer these foodborne diseases, and why do we have the elder personnel also being so prone to this, Martina?
Well, everyone is at a risk of foodborne illnesses, everyone. But there are people at, let me say, the front line, due to their weak immunity.
So it's about the immune system.
The immunity, yes. How much your body can really handle. For children, their immune system is just building up. Yes, so they are prone to foodborne illnesses due to their weakened immunity. Their immunity is still building, growing, Their bodies are still, their B cells, I should say, their B cells are still naive. Everything that attacks their body is really new. So that makes them prone to these foodborne illnesses.
Okay.
Then the elder, on the other hand, as we age, our systems tend to slow down. So their immunity, in this case also, as to the children, even the elderly, they are prone to foodborne illnesses due to their slowed down immune system.
Thank you so much. So our dear viewers, you are watching The Nutrition Spot, and we're looking at the food-related illnesses. We believe this is a public health concern, and it is worldwide. We get so many children, so many people are complaining of or suffering the food-related illnesses. But we would want also to understand how best can we tell that according to this person's presentation, they are having a food-related illness. And like they've told us, it's you and I eating maybe a food, it could be a drink that is contaminated with microorganisms. But how do I tell that now I'm having a food-related illness? How do people present that have been, I would say, affected?
Well, there are symptoms, signs and symptoms for foodborne illnesses. Someone might present with a stomach ache. In most cases, someone will get a stomach ache, and someone will have diarrhea.
Okay.
Then, since the system is overwhelmed, someone might start vomiting. Someone might present with a headache. Someone might present with nausea. That feeling you get, that's nausea. Vomiting, you all know vomiting, kuba kusesema. You might vomit, you might have nausea, you might get a headache, you might get a fever. And to some extremes, Some people might die. Some people might get paralyzed, depending on
So
what.
it's bad.
It can be that serious.
Depending on the cause.
Yes, depending on what pathogen you have consumed.
Wow.
Yes, what
Like the quantity
microorganism.
matters?
Yes, the quantity matters, the type, the doses. You know, you might consume this pathogen in like a lower dose. So sometimes, so sometimes it might not manifest as for a person who has consumed the dose in a larger amount.
Okay.
So sometimes some people manage to get away with it. They have consumed, but in relatively smaller doses. Then others get hit because they have consumed in relatively higher doses.
Okay, for starters, you mentioned Watansengo Gamba, either it's a bacteria or it's a virus or it's something, we've consumed something. And you were saying that there is a difference between infection and then intoxication. And you're like, for the infection, it's the bacteria. But we can even go ahead and prepare the food. The toxins obuva mu bacteria ne busigalanga mwebuli mu mmere. What are some of the causes of these food related illnesses? Bintu ki biva ku ffe abantu oba biva ku environment? What are the causes of the food related illnesses? Tio ayina Mugisha.
There are many causes for these foodborne illnesses. Moving away from the bacteria, or it starts from the way we handle the food handlers. The food handlers play a lot in this food system, because for the food illness to manifest, it has to be through the handling process, the preparation, then the storage. So from the transport right from the gardens, like I may use an example of maize. One may bring maize with aflatoxins. Yes, we have some policies which are supposed to be guiding within setting these standards for the foods that should be on market. But one of the things that is rising here in Kampala, I think it's even the street foods, because of the urban population. And you can agree with me that with these street foods, most of the things are just laid on the streets.
The ground.
Yeah, yes. And we really enjoy them.
We do buy them.
We all enjoy these foods, but then the handlers, what are they putting in place so that microbes do not get to these foods?
Okay.
Yeah. So the food handlers, number one.
Food handlers,
Yeah. Then now we go to the preparation. Which equipment are you using? Because you may look at the knives. Those ones, people try and wash. Those ones are washed. But then, how have you covered the food? What temperatures are you cooking that food?
Temperatures.
Temperatures. But you've talked about the knives that we use. Obusobe tukozesa okusala. Okay, yeah, okusala emmere. And one time I was asking a nutritionist, and I was like, okay, is it okay for me to have? Okay, me personally, I have one. So I'm like, is it okay for one to have only one knife? Nga kakozesa miyembe, kakozesa munyama, kakozesa mukedo, kakozesa matoke, like I use it everywhere. Muchiyungu. Is it okay? Martina go okolota. Obo inake akenana nsaka china kachina.
Abasobola okuaffordinga obwambe obwenjawulo, well and good. Those who can afford a knife for fruits, a knife for vegetables, a knife for meats, a knife for anything. Those who can afford, that's very good.
If I can't afford,
very good, very hygienic. But if you can't afford, you can have your one knife for each and everything. But make sure that each time you're going to use it for a different thing, have it washed thoroughly.
Use it for a different thing.
Like, let me say I'm from nva kusala nyama.
Njagala
kati kusala oba muyembe oba butungulu. Mazo sala ennyama.
Obutungulu bugenda mu nnyama.
Koze. Osale ekintu ekirala. And there is what we call cross contamination.
Okay.
Nti mbadde n'ennyama yange. Sisobola laba buno buwuka buli mu nnyama naye mmwe buli. So kati okwewala okujja obuwuka obuli mu nnyama, obuteeka mu butungulu oba obuteeka mu muyembe oba munanansi. Maze osala ennyama yange, ngenda kukwata akambe kange, nkooze bulungi. Like you wash it thoroughly with water and soap. Then you proceed to cut whatever thing you want. Anything else you want.
I feel like I want me gift to understand as well as my viewer to understand. Nti wemba nina akasoka, this is the thing. Ngenda kufumba nyama, ngenda kufumba nyama, oba ebyennyanja, whatever. Nti wemba nsaze nyama yange, n'ebirungo bye ngenda okuteekamu obutungulu buli kimu kyonna. Does it need me to clean this knife okukooza obulungi for me to be able to cut the onions, ate nsale ennyanya, ate biki nga ate byonna bigenda mu nvazi ezimu? That is the thing. So do we have to go through those procedures and yet tugenda kubifumba kyekimu?
Yes, I think we should.
We should.
Yes. To avoid what we call cross-contamination.
Cross-contamination.
As I've told you.
Okay.
Nti ennyama yange erimu obuwuka oba kale kangambe ennyama
bw'otamanyi
obuwuka sibulaba. Okwewala okujja obuwuka buno buli mu nnyama, obuteeka mu nnyaanya. Oba obuteeka mu butungulu. Ngenda kwata akambe kange nkooze. Remember when we are cooking these different vegetables, you know, ladies who cook. Titogenda byonna biteeka mu mulundi gumu. You're going to cook things at a time. Waliwo bye tusembayo teekamu, like let me say vegetables, to prevent overcooking them. That means they're not going to get the same heat as the meat.
Oh yeah.
So they would be undercooked, which temperatures won't sometimes be enough to kill these microbes. So
I think now that explains it so well.
Please and please, if you have your meat, chop your meat, wash your knife, chop the vegetables.
Okay, to help someone like Becky to understand, nti bwo ensonga lwaki oyoza ng'omaze okusala ennyama yo bulungi kwe kubanga nti ebintu bino ogenda bifumba ku temperatures za njawulo, ate twagambye buno obuwuka ka bacteria kasobola okufa mukamaze okuyamba n'ofumba bulungi ne kafa if you use the right temperatures, oba ne katafa. So bw'oba ofumbye ennyama ne kafa ate nga wakozesezza akasoke kamu mu butungulu, kayinza osigala mu butungulu oba mu vegetables ate nga togenda zifumba nga bw'ofumbye ennyama. I think we really understand that. So tugende ku kya temperatures, tetulina zi thermometers zipima temperatures kikaaki ezeetaagisa okufumba bintu ki. So ekyo tukikola tutya? Kubanga twagala kwewala food related illnesses. Tulabye family zisinga nti bamala okulya ekyeggulo bonna ne basula nga bagenda mu toy throughout the night.
Throughout the night. Well, to ensure the right temperatures, mumanyi okutokota. Ofumba nyama yo, mere yo. Gireke tokote. Abamu olutokota mu mujjako oyo wakusowaani. Nedda. Enyama yo, whatever you're cooking, let it boil for at least 15 minutes at a constant temperature. At least. Direke bitokote. Bitokote. Kuba what brings that temperature that brings things to boil is quite enough. It's around 70 degrees Celsius to 100. Kati biwa obudde bitokote nti eryebbugumu eritokose ebintu. Singa oba owadde emmere obudde ebintu by'okutokota, chances are high nti buno obuwuka bugenda kukola ki? Kufa.
Thank you, Martina.
So, that's how you should go about it, really.
Thank you so much. Omwami ali eyo nga wettanira ensonga z'okufumba oba mukyala munnange ali eyo nga wettanira ensonga z'okufumba. Tuleme okufumba mu rush hours oba okufumba ebya bogobogo. nti omwana ali mukaaba oli mukutokosaako katono kuwa mwana oba omwami akugamba enjala ennuma otokosaako katono kuwa mwami. You would want to give them a proper meal. So batugambe at least 15 minutes ku muliro oguli constant okulaba nti wewala okubeera na buno obuuka mu mmere ate nga omaze ojujjula okuleeta ebizibu ebirala. So oli mu kulaba Nutrition Spot. We're just going to go into a very quick short break, then we shall come back and continue about how best we can avoid these kinds of illnesses.
Bethany TV for health. Growing and multiplying.
Father, we thank you that as we've master joined our faith on this earth, whatever
Touching those close and beyond. The word of God ministered. Lives changed.
Our God made a way for the children of Israel and they made it to the promised land.
the day of salvation, and today is a day of freedom for you. In Jesus' name, if you believe it, say amen.
We celebrate the resurrection because Jesus is alive.
It's a brand new day. Here we go, we say it's a brand new day.
Never miss the Watuto Sunday service every Sunday, 10 to 11:30 a.m. live on Bethany TV for health. On the cord. What do men really want in a woman? Curious about what men truly desire in a partner? Join us as we explore the qualities that go beyond stereotypes and uncover attributes that men find attractive. What creates a meaningful connection? The role of authenticity and mutual respect in any relationship. Keith, Chula, and Livingstone. This Monday, 8 p.m. live on Bethany TV. Are you ready for this good news? You can now watch Bethany TV on Yo TV, AfroMobile, and Airtel TV apps. Yes! Catch the finest programming prescription for everybody, wherever you are, whenever you are. Bethany TV for health. Bethany TV for health. And now, more with Nutrition Sport.
We have so many populations in Uganda here, and like I said, worldwide, abatawana nebyokulya oli amala okulya olubuto ne lumutaabukako for no reason, natandika complaining aba wano we naguze zino chips z'okukkubo oba bino nakoze bwe nti oba emmere nagifumbe bwe bati ne bwe bati. So Cool Nutrition Spot, we want to make sure that we have the right procedures or the right tactics that we can use to make sure that we have food that is ready and good for our health. Sekumala kulya ng'emmere ogitaddemu obudde bungi ogifumbye ate olumala n'ekutabukira olubuto ne lukutabukako. So we want to avoid all that. Tugambye n'okugamba nti yina abantu nga abakadde abaana abalina systems eziri wansi, so you would not want to expose them to these kinds of conditions kubanga bo ate kibasukkako. We've seen the signs and symptoms, mulimu n'ezitali nnungi esobola okuleeta omuntu okubeera paralyzed oba okufa and so many other. So we would want to avoid all this. Nga tetunagenda mu kuwumulamu tubadde tukyanyonyola ngeri ki gye tusobola okukwatamu emmere obulungi naddala mu maka gaffe. Bw'oba oli kugula abagula ku street mabajja ku street, we might not have control over you, but those that are preparing food in their homes, we can do so much better. My name is Gift Nakayinga. I'm honored to have Martina and I know Mugisha as a nutritionist tonight on the show. So bali mukutunyonyola ngeri ki ennungi gye tuyinza okufumbamu emmere n'ogikwatamu bulungi okulaba nti ate tetulwaza kubanga emmere twagala ate ewonye ebirwadde bye tulina naye ate bwe tugirya mu bukyamu bwe tugikozesa mu bukyamu tujakakana nga ate erese endwadde ze tutayagala. So back to you, Martina. You've otugambye ku temperatures, but we still want to understand more about how we can handle food. I know Mugisha yayogedde ku ngeri gye tugiterekamu, like the covering. How are we supposed to do that?
Well, before we go in for that, I have like a previous story. Obadde oyogera kucha noja chips zo and the following day. Okay, not necessarily the following day, kuba these foodborne illnesses, some of them are fast. Their onset is really fast. So, ngenda ngula chips zange zampomera okufaako obufi. They were nice, they were so nice. But that night I didn't sleep. You people, I personally have experienced these foodborne illnesses and they can be serious. So
Yeah.
please take care. Namala okulya chips zange. A few hours, like let me say an hour and a half later,
Yeah.
I slept outside. You people, it was terrible. I slept outside. I was vomiting and I had a running stomach. Ogendo kerencha kumacha nga sina mazi. I was dehydrated. That's how serious it can be. You
Wow.
not only have the diarrhea, but the diarrhea would lead into something else.
They are
And before you
really
know
bad.
it, you're losing a lot of weight, you're dehydrated,
Yes.
and it can graduate into something else. So people, be conscious.
I think like
Foodborne illnesses are real.
like you said that, I think last week, two weeks ago, we went to a restaurant to have lunch. And now after, you know, like, you'd be like, okay, I think if they're having fish as the most expensive, like eshenyanja nga kyekisinga kechebe, you would opt for that. And then you think maybe it's prepared well. So netusaba buli omu ebyenyanja nze njagala ekirimu ebinyeebwa odimpa ekyenyanja ekya supu. So we ate and we thought like it's really good food. Because we were eating from this same spot for a long time, like over a year. So, but for some reason, we could keep complaining about the place. You know, you feel like you're not content, depending on how they present the food to you after serving. So that day we ate food. On our way back home, my friend did not settle. She kept telling me, I feel very uncomfortable. And I'm like, what's the problem? Like, if I can't even, I feel like I can't drive. We need to park somewhere and do something. Or lubutane rumuluma kande mugamba ogenda parking. We are in the middle of nowhere. Chichiche tugendo kola. Ntobani na fragile musawo. Obani nachi. I'm like, so now what are we going to do? Nangamba, okay, tuvuge ko mpaka wali maso tujasanga some place. Maybe I can find a toilet or something. But twasanga akatale nangamba kati tuba tukola kansoke ngule wane nimu male mbabuzo baba ina toilet around here and all that nagula nimu nasoka nali nimu bili nagamba kati I want a toilet nagenda nanonya toilet nagamba kati I need fragile nimuga kale tufune like it was that bad.
Can be serious.
It was that bad nangamba mpulira nfa awo tetuddawo kulyawo mmere. So it can I can really relate.
Yeah,
Yes,
in fact,
yes.
you can even, because the aftermath of having those diarrhea episodes, you just find that you can't even walk
Yeah.
because all the time
You're
you've been
drained.
running, squatting,
Yeah.
squatting.
You get drained. Yes. Okay, back to the storage temperatures. Yeah, like some people have fridges. So, if you have, the rules of keeping food safe are, you shouldn't keep food at room temperature for more than 2 hours. Nti toyina lekawo mmere ewoze kumala saawa 2.
Toyina koleka mmere ewoze
Kumala saawa 2. Like
Oh.
you don't leave food at room temperature for more than 2 hours.
nga tulya amawulu.
It's okay to have your mawolu, but you either have it kept in a fridge at cooler temperatures or at higher temperatures, so that these microbes don't have the comfortable temperature to multiply. You either have them inactive or dead.
Abatalina fridge. Oli ali mu kyalo eyo talina masannyalaze, talina fridge. Naye ng'emmere yagifumbe ayagala okwongera ogirya enkya.
Okay, that's tricky. But I would advise that ofumbe emmere gy'ogenda olya okole ki? Okumalawo. Okusinga okwonoona. Kuba egenda kwonooneka ogenda giyiwa. Yet, singa wabadde ofumbye gy'ogenda omalawo, you would have some left for the other day. You would have something else to prepare for the other day. Other than having food, a lot of food cooked at a go, and you end up pouring it, or it ends up causing harm to you. Where you end up in expenses of medication, you end up in expenses of not working the following day. You won't be able to work, you have expenses on medical bills. Naye nga gwe wabadde olowooza osavinga, and you end up having a very big cost. So, atalina fridge, fumba emmere gy'ogenda okola ki? Okulya omalewo.
And talking about that fridge, within that fridge, there you have departments. So,
in the fridge.
So within the fridge, you can decide, you have to separate the raw and cooked food.
Okay.
Yeah, from what she had talked about, from cross-contamination. You need to separate the raw and the cooked food. That's one of the 5 elements of the good food hygiene.
Yeah. So ate abateeka mu fridge nga nsi nnyonjo bulungi for some reason.
Kale.
Naye ng'aterekayo.
Tulina emitendera 5 egy'okukuuma emmere yaffe nga tetuletera bulabe. There are 5 key elements of keeping our food safe.
Okay.
5 key factors to food safety. First of all, you should keep clean. Whatever it is you're using to prepare, whatever it is that is getting into contact with your food should be clean. Thoroughly. You should clean everything thoroughly. If it's the container, it should be thoroughly cleaned. If it's the knife, if it's the working surface, it should be clean. Then the other thing, you should separate cooked food from raw food.
Okay.
Then the other thing, you should cook thoroughly. Tiwoba osazeewo fumba. Fumbira ddala bijje. Nga we nagambye tezitandika tokoto oba kwesera n'ojja kandi you're serving. No. Enva ziwa obudde. If it's porridge, muwa obudde. Whatever you're cooking, cook thoroughly. Woba osazeewo fumba. Bibe bya ddala. This will help you have a safe meal at the end of the day.
Ate okooza, like, washing. For example, ogenda kulya vegetables or maybe kind of a fruit. Tuyina kooza kyenkanawa. I think I have a problem with people abooza bino ebintu n'amazzi amabisi ng'ate agenda kubirirawo.
Well, if we are washing fruits, okay, vegetables, tuba tugenda zifumba. We don't soak them in water. We wash them over
With
running water. First of all, it will help you preserve the nutrients in these vegetables. Then second of all, whatever runs off doesn't come back. If you soak it, chances are high that some will clean.
It will
Yes, some will clean.
Absorb.
But if you're washing through running water, whatever runs off doesn't come back. Well, if you're going to consume a meal, a fruit, taps are supposed to have
what?
Safe water. Taps are supposed to have safe water, but for your peace of mind, use boiled water if you really have to consume this fruit.
For your peace of mind.
Yes.
And I think, we've heard abakyala abamu abafumba nga for her she's so much, ali comfortable nnyo n'okukwata amata amabisi oganywa. Ali comfortable ekyennyanja ntanakifumba nasooka nakirya nga kibisi. I mean, ddala bino ebikalu, like those ones n'olyako. Like, is it bad? Can it cause any food-related illness, or it's okay?
It's not okay.
It's not okay. Because most of these people who are taking this, let's say, unpasteurized milk, people who are consuming the raw fish, most of them, if you observe, it's a cultural thing. We are not taking people away from their culture, no. But then,
Let's
taking
do it the right way.
Yeah, let's do it the right way. What we are supposed to do is take pasteurized milk, because the temperature for pasteurization is good.
Okay.
At that point, the microbes, there are no microbes. What you will get will just be maybe the lactic acid, which is good for the microflora. But then, if you continuing these things, at a certain point, the foodborne illnesses will come in.
Yeah.
And if you're taking these things raw,
Nga bibisi.
nga bibisi, nti microbe eri ogirya mu bitiibwa byayo, like you're eating the microbes in their full glory.
There is
Their
nowhere
untouched
around it.
state.
Yeah.
So even if it's the toxin, even if it's the microbe, you're eating it.
Kati fe abalyako lumonde omubisi,
It's full glory.
muwogo omubisi.
You're not only getting microbes, you're
that's
even
what
getting worms.
They are
Have
toxins.
you heard about worms?
Abalya carrots, mbisi, green pepper.
For some things are really okay. Nti woba obyozezza bulungi n'ekyokozesa okupeelinga, what you're using to peel is clean. They're safe. Like, let me say the carrots.
Okay, oh yeah, I was going to ask if you
But
say really okay.
If they're eggs, they're animal-based foods,
They are not okay.
they're not okay.
Eggs as in eggs.
Yeah.
Tewali
Some
kunyu-
people eat raw eggs, like, let me say, bodybuilders.
alinywa libisi.
Yes, they'll break the egg into their mouths and
Really
consume
okay?
it the way it is.
Really okay?
No, it's not okay.
Oh.
Eggs. Okay, all animal-based foods have microbes in them. That's why you see
enough
eggs
tobacco.
rotting.
Oh.
You see milk going bad because they have microbes. So to slow down or to remove the microbes, you either have to refrigerate to keep the microbes inactive, or cook thoroughly.
Ate
to
amata
kill the
agali
microbes.
packed. We do a lot of packed milk. Is it?
Packed milk is okay because
It's
at
processed?
times it's pasteurized.
Pasteurized.
Yes,
Okay.
UHT is pasteurized, so sumulasake no.
Abadde bawuta amagye kirabika ezo ensonga tugenda kuzikomya. But Martina mentioned a number of things n'agamba for us to be able to avoid these kinds of food-related illnesses. Tulina okuba nga tuli bayonjo, tulina okuba nga twawula ebifumbe ku bitali bifumbe, tulina okuba nga ebintu tubifumbira ddala n'ebijja si mangu mweyokyo ennyama oba ogyokya tulina okuba nga emmere tugikuumira ku temperature entuufu, ate tulina okuba nga tukozesa amazzi agali safe nga tulongoosa eno emmere. So talk of keeping clean, yeah? I think abalabi baffe buli atulaba osobola okuba ekifaananyi mu kiyungu kyo. Esigiri ziri zikyentamu ziri zityo zitereka otya, essowaani ozitereka otya. I think you've put a lot of emphasis on the food, but let's look at the utensils, like ebintu bye tusaavingiramu. Waliwo ogenda mu restaurant ne bakuleetera essowaani ng'olaba mazima ddala teyatukudde n'owulira nga so nga kikumalamu amaanyi. So ebintu bye tuliirako bisobola nabyo okucontaminatinga emmere gye tulya wadde emmere yeebadde ng'eri clean.
Kituufu nnyo ekyo kituufu nnyo ky'oyogedde nti osobola okuba wayise emitendera gyonna, ennyama yo wagiguze wagisalidde wayonjo, akambe kabadde katukula, buli kimu sepiki yabadde etukula, naye n'otuuka okusaavinga and the plate messes up everything. Kiringa kwoza n'oyanika mu ttaka. nti wayise emitendera gyonna emituufu egy'okuteekateeka emmere yo. Naye kati otuuse ku mutendera ogusembayo ogw'ojjanjula eri abagenda oggirya ate n'oyanika mu ttaka. It's as good as that. So the plate should also be clean.
And then engalo zaffe
yes, anyone in the food processing chain should have short nails. Short nails, because nails keep a lot of microbes, a lot of dirt.
Yeah.
Yes, when you're to go in, like, let me say, those food processing industries or restaurants, commercial businesses, people who handle food have protective gears that they will cover their hair so that hair doesn't fall.
Why? Okay.
Hair doesn't fall into the
Some
food.
put on gloves.
It's a contaminant. Would you want food
And
served
but
to
I
you?
call apron, and then you're like, oh, okay.
Can you continue with that meal?
No,
Of course not.
It will. It's not even about just seeing the hair within the food. The hair itself has the microbes.
Oh.
Yeah.
Even if you see the hair in the food, my dear, you
Yeah,
won't continue eating.
Yeah, it can freak
So,
you out.
when you go to, like, let me say, commercial places, people have their hair covered.
Sobola bikopa into bikole waka.
Yeah, chitufu nyo. Chitufu. So olosibako ku mutwe. Yeah, you see some ladies. Sometimes they think they're protecting their hair, but they're also
protecting
the food. Yes.
Thank you.
And
Thank you.
please allow me to continue.
As you wind up, just in a minute.
Yes, as I wind up, it's very important that we keep all our kitchen utensils clean. Where we are keeping the utensils itself and the utensils themselves. Kuba osobola okwoza ekikopo kyo naye wookyanise. Osobola okwoza essowaani yo naye woogyanise. Fork zo. So you should have the whole food process bit of it clean. Nti okuva otandika okuteekateeka emmere mpaka kugijjula mpaka kwagenda oggirya. Abaana abato, make sure their hands are clean. However much they are going to use forks or cutlery, make sure their hands are clean. You can't prevent children from touching food. Even if you give them a fork, you can never prevent them from touching food. So,
thank you, Martina. Thank
Yes.
you. I need just in less than a minute.
Yeah. What I can say, in order to keep this food hygiene, the 5 key elements. That's what we need.
Okay.
Keeping clean. That's you, the food handler, and the surface and all the equipment you're using. Then cook thoroughly. You have your food,
Cook
like
well.
she said. Cook the food.
Thank you.
I'm not good at Luganda, but then
Fumba bulungi emmere.
eh,
Thank you. Thank you.
then you need to make sure that you keep the food at the right temperature.
Thank
The
you.
storage temperature, plus also after cooking. Most these days we normally use microwaves. Yeah, they help in keeping at the right temperature.
Thank you so much. I want to appreciate you, our dear guests, Martina, and I know Muksa. We appreciate you so much. Mutukoze bulungi. Moving forward, we're going to be better citizens. Tugenda kubanga to practicinga obuyonjo ku buli level mu kiyungu buli wamu kujjula ne bwe tuba like engeri gye tubeeramu nga tuliranye emmere engeri gye twambaddemu tugenda kuba tubikola bulungi nnyo. And I believe our viewers have picked a lot from this kind of discussion. This is the Nutrition Spot. We do this every single Thursday from 8 to 9 p.m. because we believe eating well can make you live a longer kind of life. It can increase your lifespan. So we can do this over and over, emphasizing that we should eat well because through nutrition, it's the only way you can transform your health. So my name is Gifty Nakainga. Till next Thursday, I want to wish you the best of the night.